when they looked at it, looking at the human skull, you can see that there are a number of differences, and they realised that this wasn't like a human skull. And if you look at the back, for example, if you look at it from that way, it's sort of like quite straight there, quite flat. It doesn't bulge out. If you look at the human skull, put that down, you can see that the human one is kind of much more, sort of spherical at the back, much more curved, and that sort of thing. So that's an obvious one. And then, for example, if you put your fingers right down into the eye sockets of the human skull, you can get them in by nearly 2 inches.
Right.
That's another obvious one as well. And then compared to the Starchild skull, you've got them going in about ½ an inch.
Yeah.
So the eye sockets are much more shallow. So that's not just a couple of millimetres, or that's a lot. That's like 50% different, or more than 50%. And then if you look at the neck hole, which is called the foramen magnum, for example, this is sealed, so this isn't accurate. This replica, this is a fairly cheap replica, or it cost me a fair bit of money. If you look at the neck hole, that's sort of quite small and round. Whereas if you look at the human, it's in a different place. It's actually, if you look at where the neck attaches, that hole is, you've got all this bone here on the human, but on the Starchild, you've got only a little bit of bone there. So that shows that the way that its neck attachment is completely different. So that right there shows really to me that this is not. It's got same sort of morphology as a human, as in 2 eyes and a nose and a mouth and a neck, but beyond that you're getting some really strange stuff. So Lloyd went high. He picked this up from Mellon Young in 1999. He took it round to various universities, and he was able to get one guy at one university to actually measure the cranial capacity. So this was a hole, and filled it up with birdseed, and then you tip all that birdseed out into a jug. 1600 cc's of brain in there, compared to the human, which is typically 1200 cc's of brain. So how's that? You've got 400 cc's more brain in something which is actually looks smaller. How's that? So that was another one that he found out early on.
Is it because also the bone is actually quite thinner?
Correct.
But it's stronger, isn't it?
It's stronger.
Correct. So that was the other thing he found out a bit later as well. In that, if you I can send you these pictures. I haven't got them on that memory stick, so I'll give you the pictures that I've got if you want to put them in the video. But it's all online. Lloyd Pye's lectures are all online. You can go and find out about this, because this has been, Lloyd was talking about this from 1999 up until he died in 2013, and very sadly, and he identified that, as you say, the thickness of the bone. This was about 3 millimeters thick. Human bone, 9 millimeters thick. And as you said, this is much stronger. And the bone was even, they put a portion of the bone in a spectrum analyzer, mass spectrum analyzer, to look at what elements are in it. And when you look at the elements that are in the Starchild bone, it's more like collagen, which is tooth enamel. The bone is more like tooth enamel than human bone, in its chemical composition. And that was all done in the 90s. The other thing that I'll mention is you can see this staining, which is the brown here. You've got this darker brown here. If you look at the other side, it's very much lighter. This is accurate in terms of the real skull, because this was the side that, when it was found, was in the dirt. So the staining came from the dirt. So the physical attributes of the skull matched up with the story that was given with the skull.